Motoring.
Yeah, people love the Facebook Live video. So now all I need to do. Now all I need to do is just. You look actually. That was good. You look good singing that.
You know what it is? Why does it when you're singing?
Yeah.
Why do people always close their eyes like they're jumping off a bridge?
Well, they're trying to feel it, right? You're trying to just really harness that.
So you always
passion.
feel it. I guess like during sex, you close your eyes a lot too, right? Trying to feel it.
No, they're closed because I cry usually. Don't you?
I've always noticed that my. Yeah.
No,
they're always
Finish
closing
it.
their eyes too. They're like, why? Why am I doing this?
That's amazing.
Why?
I think Jeff was having sex. I don't know. The music got a little choppy there.
Well, welcome to podcast number 17
Holy
with
smokes.
Mitch and Dimitri. Here we go again. Another week has gone by. A lot of things going on.
Huge stuff.
Exciting things. This is Super Bowl pre-weekend, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
I guess the bye week.
Bye week. I don't know. I don't like the
Pro Bowl week.
I like that they take a week off,
Sure.
but I don't like it because I feel like on Sunday I felt naked. I felt like literally nothing. It's that preamble going. Next week's the last time you're going to watch football for the next 6 months.
Yeah, it's kind of like marriage,
Yes.
right? This is the last one you're gonna have.
This is it.
Well,
You're done.
You know.
Yeah. Did you watch the Grammys the other night?
No, or I mean, I guess I 5 minutes of it maybe. I turned it on. I saw Bruno Mars won the best. Actually,
He won a lot of awards. Actually.
Yeah, well, he got the Song of the Year. But I got a bone to pick.
Sure.
I get a lot of people hate Donald Trump. I'm not here to say I like him or hate him or to say anything bad. But
We're not political.
We're not. Yeah. Well, maybe.
Or are we?
Are we? No, but I mean, they're sitting there. Their own president of the United States, love him or hate him, and they're making a joke and like they did a skit on him, and then they had Hillary involved. And I watch that and I say, who's backing this? You know, it makes me lose faith in the media even more to say, what's with this? What's with the politics behind this? Is the Grammys. I don't want to see that shit.
You know what? To that point, I didn't see that, but you know what? I was a little disappointed. It wasn't. I don't know what happened to the music stars, man. Like they used to be the cool, fun, exciting guys to watch, and they're definitely not at that caliber. They all seem to have a political statement now. They all want to make their point. You know who they like, who they don't like.
Right.
What happened to just good old fun? I want to hear the stories where they're trashing rooms, doing coke off people's bums. You know, I want that.
Amongst other parts.
Amongst other parts.
Yeah, some real Jeff stories.
Yeah, I want some. You know what? Why do I have to come to the studio to listen to rock and roll stories?
Jeff is a real rock and roll artist.
New York had a room full of these guys, and I'm not hearing anything.
I got to be honest. The way I see things is, and this could tie into what happened this past year in sports in terms of even the national anthem protests, which maybe on a show we might have to revisit because it's a long convo. However, I do understand that sometimes they have a voice, right? So they're standing up for a certain amount of people.
Sure.
I do get that.
Okay.
At the other token, it's like, man, I just want to watch the Grammys if I want to watch it.
But that's all they're doing now. I guess my point is...
It's too much. Like, it dilutes it for
everybody wants to be heard, and everyone wants to make their point. And it's getting a little tiring. You know what I mean? So... we have a lot to talk about because it's going to be fun and exciting this week.
We got to roll through some stuff because we got a big show planned.
But what I want to do, and I'm a numbers guy, give me the updates. I saw some good things this week on
Jeff. Put down the tidbit and cue the music. Because brought to you by Macromind Media, the metrics of the week. Mitch, this thing is growing as per usual.
It's crazy.
We are taking over more states than the Republican Party right now. Okay?
You know what? They should hire us last week. Buddy, on top of being marketing marvels that we are, with these ideas that we're coming up with, the Republicans should be hiring us to take over.
I don't see why not. Or the Democrat. We'll work for both. We're freelance. But
we're freelance,
Macromind Media, it's helping. These guys are helping us grow. They built us a beautiful website. I encourage you not only to go on our website, but go on theirs, macromindmedia.com. You can see the whole portfolio. Mitch, these guys are doing some great work.
Unreal.
For us as
I
well.
love the website. I'm on it every day.
Yep. And we're
perusing.
We've established. Yeah. You're a peruser.
I'm a peruser.
But I want to introduce something too, because we've been talking about this, and we have to make it official on the podcast.
Sure.
You and I have come up with a new rule.
Yeah.
Because, at first you were showing up late.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I started showing up late.
True.
And then just to avoid not paying for anything, I show up a few minutes early,
Always.
like right on time.
Yeah, you're a master of that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I take that as a compliment. Yeah. So we just set this rule, and Jeff, we want you to be witness it. The fact is that if the other person is not here by 5:30 sharp, the show goes on.
The show starts.
And he has to walk into the room
late
and embarrassed and full of shame.
Full of shame.
Well, maybe we should make him man.
Yeah, and then Jeff becomes the co-host.
Oh my God, that's even better. Yes, Jeff's got to go in.
Yeah.
And then, just put stickers for the buttons because it's probably going to be me for the first time.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so that's the new rule.
Welcome to Mitch and Jeff. We now talk rock and roll, speedballs, and NFL.
That's amazing. Basically, the 90s Dallas Cowboys. You're right, actually. There isn't anything wrong with that. So, I want to bring something else up. We got a new segment here planned for everyone, and really it's for the benefit of Mitch and myself to get a little bit better. To make sure that we are, better versions of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And sorry, we did come up with a segment, and that was the word segment we're doing the last couple weeks.
And it's been working great.
It's been, yes,
it's revolutionized.
You know what? I've had a ubiquitous amount of ebullient responses.
Amazing. You took my sentence, so I can't even repeat it.
But here's another segment we're coming, and really, I don't care if we get better on this or not. Sure. And it's a thing we're calling deconstructive criticism.
Yeah, you've been pushing this on me for the last couple of weeks.
Well, I got
to be honest, I didn't know. So please go ahead and start it, and then I'll be
absolutely.
More than happy.
For example, Mitch, I think that you have a problem getting people's names wrong in the sports world. It makes me wonder if you know how to read. You have a decent job. I think you've accomplished at least high school.
You're
like
not
you
wrong.
could just read the names, Mitch.
So now, am I supposed to rebuttal, or do I just let you attack and then just let it go?
Like Kawani Leonard, that's not his name.
That's right. You're right.
You can't make it up.
No, you're right.
That's all I have to say.
No, you're right. And you know what? Mistakes happen. You're absolutely right. The amount of money we pay Jeff, we don't have enough to redo takes, so we have to do what we do. So now I get one, right?
Get one.
I get one back?
You get one back.
So it's called deconstructive criticism.
That's right.
Okay. So tell me if I'm doing it right, because I don't feel like, I don't want to cut you down because I feel bad.
Go ahead.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead.
I feel like this is just going to start fights between us. That's what it is. That's what I feel. I feel like we're just going to do it.
I'm not a baby.
I can handle it. Fine. All right. Fair enough.
I can handle it.
I think your body is amazing. Am I supposed to go the opposite, or am I supposed to say how great
No, say this. Okay, I think I get it.
Okay.
So what's wrong with it, Mitch?
No, it's not. You know what it is? Really, it must be from all the gout and the gout in your arm and the gout in your foot, where working out has been obviously on the side. That's fine. I get that, because you got to, what's it called? You got to take care of the injuries. The problem, I guess, comes down to the fact is, I did some research. Gout's from a lot of drinking, so we might have to just cut down from that, right? And a little red meat, maybe. Have you heard of a salad? Do you know what a salad looks like? Do you? Or no?
I'm starting to think this was a bad idea.
Well, I'm just telling you. This is why I didn't understand why you want to do this to each other. I didn't understand why you want to do it.
I just went with sports related on a guy's name. You attacked my physical appearance and my moobs.
You do have some beautiful moves.
Thank you.
Now,
at least they're beautiful.
You know what? We'll see if this deconstructive criticism continues to go on.
There we go.
I feel like one of us is going to get hurt, and I don't want to continue.
See, the point of deconstructive criticism is you don't care if they rectify. I don't care if you get
all the names wrong.
I'm just going to keep making fun of you for it.
But
just like you don't care if I really decide to eat a salad.
A little bit, but at the same time,
then that makes you a complete asshole. For bringing that up.
But speaking of moves,
you fat shamed me. Is that fat shaming?
I think I kind of.
Am I a victim of fat shaming?
You might have been, and I feel bad. Don't do anything.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
all.
Don't be feeding yourself Tide Pods and stuff like that, and get yourself all sick for nothing. But speaking of your moves, because they are beautiful, I want to talk, and the people want to hear Vegas. I am so pumped. I'm so excited to hear about this. I on purpose didn't really ask you lots.
No, you didn't, which was
You
surprising.
did some great work, and to from me and the fans to you, to the guys that listen and the ladies that listen, thanks for the postings. Unreal. Hilarious. Getting the people on.
We can deconstructive criticize each other all we want, but if I see Nina Hartley at the award show, I'm getting her to give a shout out because that's your goaltender.
That's my goalie, and I appreciate that.
Before we start, I got a little surprise, and Jeff, I got a little surprise for you, buddy. And don't think that a guy goes to Vegas and doesn't think about the sound guy. If you want to come in the booth really quick.
Oh, what'd you
I
do?
got some swag for you.
You son of a...
So what we got?
I never get invited in the.
So
congrats.
This is see, we invite you in the booth. So
Even though you own the
here's
place.
a beer opener keychain from My Free Cams.
Oh, nice.
Right? Here's
Nice.
a pen from hotmovies.com. And look, you just, the button's right. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
see?
nice.
It's got a lighter.
Oh.
Nice twist. And good for a
I
tablet.
actually need one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
that's
And
my
then the
favorite.
last one,
Oh, what's
some
that?
free porn DVD.
Wow.
Right? This is right from the Las Vegas AVNs. Drilled triple X, cherry
He's not
pimps.
shitting you. It actually says free.
It says
porn.
free
Yeah.
porn right on
Right
it.
on the front.
Yeah.
Right on the front. And
Right on the front. He literally took it and he's left the room on as well. You know?
No, Jeff, we need you for sound.
we
Jeff,
need you for-
Jeff, why are you
Jeff-
going down the hall?
He'll
Jeff,
be back in 2 minutes. It's fine. It's not a big deal. All right, so I got some questions now. Okay,
Talk to me.
So obviously you went down there. You had a great. Tell me just in a brief little synopsis here.
Okay,
how good
so-
was it? Obviously, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah. No. Yeah, no full disclosure on some of the things because I do want to stay married. But Jeff's already. Yeah, see, I told you it's unreal. The pen. It was an excellent time. We went for my brother's stag, as I mentioned last week. Great group of guys. There's 4 of us all together. Very like-minded. It was a very good trip. So it wasn't one of those trips where everyone's kind of fighting to kind of get what they want out of it. So that made it so much easier. Now we went to the Adult Video Network Awards, the convention. So they do a 4-day convention with an after party and an award show. And the convention's huge. It's at the Hard Rock Hotel. Every single porn star that you can most of them that you can think of is there.
Recognize.
Absolutely. They're all there. And it was good. It's weird. Like it's kind of like any other celebrity when you see them in person.
Yeah, sure.
You're a little bit shocked, Mitch, at what you see.
You're like, I've worked with you.
I don't know. There's a couple reactions. Some of them you say, "Oh my god!" Like the ones that look skinny in the videos and pictures, they're beyond skinny in real life.
Oh, really?
Like like if you see a girl that's super skinny, she is sick skinny.
Really?
Yeah.
So the camera does add 10 pounds.
It does. Oh, 100%. Some girls you go close up and you're like you're actually not that good looking at all. They're stripper hot for the most part, is what they are.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I mean, I think everyone wants to know, did you find a new goalie?
Well, I searched high and low, east and west,
Sure.
north and south,
Absolutely.
and I did.
And?
Well, let me tell you, Mitch, and at first I decided to go with youth, and I saw a lot of the youth there.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, they got much to learn.
They do.
They do.
I can see
when
that.
you see the youth lined up against the experience, I'd like to proudly announce
I think I know who it is.
on episode 17, my new goaltender is Brandi Love.
I knew it! I knew it!
Now, Brandi Love passes the eye test, obviously.
Yeah.
She's in great physical condition.
Oh, yeah.
You know she's got the experience. And what I loved most about her was the attitude. What a great attitude. And that's what you want in the locker room.
Absolutely. And you know what? I commend you. I commend you.
She's
Good pick.
She's
Good
actually
pick.
she's actually really funny. Hey.
Is she?
She's super nice. Like you could tell she's one of the ones that just like she's tenured. She's like, I'm having fun here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Dude. That's a great pick. I guess the next question I have, and the other people wanted to know as well, who do you think is like the MVP of the AVNs? Like, did you see somebody with a really long line at their table? Like, who did people want to go and see at the AVNs?
Believe it or not, the longest line was Nina Hartley.
Of course,
right?
obviously.
And I'll tell you the funny story after I answer the question how I got your video.
Sure.
Because I almost didn't get it.
Wow.
I was we would have had problems.
We thank you.
The biggest the biggest up and coming star that you can see there is actually, and she already is a star, is Riley Reid.
Riley Reid.
Now, seeing her in real life, Mitch, to me, she didn't do nothing for me.
Okay.
She's like 5'4", and she's about like 100 pounds. Okay. Like she's beyond skinny.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's beyond skinny, but she had the crazy longest line, but her personality, like you could tell, she is loving every bit of her life.
Really,
being a porn star.
All right.
She's so, no pun intended, but she's soaking it all in.
Well,
right?
good for her. Yeah. Good for her. Riley Reid is, in Dimitri's opinion, the up-and-comer or the best in-house right now, right?
Best
So,
in-house.
I guess the next question's got to be, who disappointed or who did you, like, see and you're like, whoa, man, like, that is not at all what...
Biggest disappointment was Julia Ann.
Julia, oh, okay.
Okay, the older lady, Julia Ann. We go there. When you see her from afar, you're like, oh, like you recognize her. You're like, oh, that's Julia Ann. Then I walked up, and now here's the cool thing. Like, you don't pay for photos, right? It's just part of the package there, so to speak. So you can literally get your picture taken from anyone. But we walked up to her, or I walked up to her to get a photo taken, and dude, she was spaced out. Like, I swear she was high right then and there.
Oh, yeah, you think?
It was just, so I walk up, and I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? She's like, good. Like, I'm like, are you on Earth right now? Like, are you here now?
Yeah.
You know, Carmine's gone.
She's like, I'm over here now.
Carmine's out. No, it was weird, man. It totally turned me off. I'm like, man, this lady, like, Mitch,
really?
Spaced us. So, Julianne, retire. It's over.
It's time for her to put it up.
Go the way of the
Hang up
Yager.
your heels.
Hang up your heels, Julia. Go the way of the Yager. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
You know.
Excellent. Well, that you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm pretty sure most of our listeners are gonna stop listening now because they got what they wanted out of this.
I'll tell you really quick though. There's a few of the girls, but you see is what you get, and actually these are the ones that are beautiful, that are actually very pretty women.
Really,
Madison Ivy, exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
Asa Akira, exactly the same. This red hair named Jenny Bly.
Sure.
She's stunning.
You were just naming, and just for all the people that are listening, Dimitri is going literally off his own brain. Like he is not. Not reading anything.
I don't have anything in front of me.
He's got this down to a side. Did you practice this all week?
All I have to say is thank you, incognito mode.
Wow, unbelievable! Well, quite impressive.
You meet them and you talk with them, but she's stunning to the point you look and you say, "What are you doing in porn?"
Yeah,
like she could be a model and act like.
She's trying to make her own way, man. She doesn't need a man.
It's an art.
She doesn't need a man.
I guess porn is art. So the Nina Hartley story, really quick. We got to move on.
Yeah.
We walked out to go back. This is day 2 to go back into the convention, right?
Gotcha.
And I kept telling everyone, I'm like, guys, I want to make a video for Mitch if I see Nina Hartley. So I was on a mission. Didn't see her the first day. We come out from lunch to go back in, and I think it was my brother nudges me and goes, oh, that's Nina back there. So I look back, and she's there with, she's got like a carry-on suitcase. I'm like, oh, she's leaving. This is it. Like, this is the moment. I had to muster it up.
P.S. Professionalism.
Professionalism. So I didn't say anything to her because she's talking to someone.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Well, anyways, as we're kind of waiting around, we're about like 15 feet away. She stops talking and she just bolts out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, right? I'm like, I'm going to miss it. I was trying to chase her down the hallway, right? But it was like one of those movies where like everyone's getting in front of your way. And then she's gone.
Oh, no.
I'm like, okay, I missed it. I'm like, I wasn't going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
I felt like a buffoon. And nonetheless, we're there and maybe an hour later, there's this really long lineup. And who is it? It's Nina Hartley.
It's Nina.
You love the video, though.
The great video. Really funny. And it's funny because these girls, the girls that you did get to talk to on the video, they were all like, thanks. Real awkward. It was just kind of funny. You could tell like you had a gun to their head. Like I'm pretty sure you threatened them in some way or something.
No, not at all.
Not at all?
No.
Well, you know what?
They'll literally do anything.
It was awesome. I thank
great
you.
time.
It was really cool.
Great
That's awesome.
time. If you're in Vegas if you ever go to Vegas in late January, guys, check it.
Yeah, you
out.
gotta.
It's fun. It's truly fun.
You know, and the way you kind of ripped off the names, I want to almost test and see. Could you name off All-Star? I want to talk a little bit about the All-Star games that happened this weekend.
Sure.
Some people noticed there was All-Star games. Some people didn't. but I feel like you know more porn star names than you actually know athletes. So one day I might test you on it and find out.
Are they not athletes?
Well,
you
know what? No, you're not wrong. That's going to be a topic for another day.
Yeah. Do you know what I love about our show?
Yeah.
We're so brilliant in our progression. We go from the porn stars to the all-stars.
Yeah. And we didn't mean to do that.
No, that's just...
That's awesome. So the All-Star game for the NHL happened this weekend, and the Pro Bowl, exact same. So I think the general consensus across social media, across the world right now, is that the Pro Bowl sucks.
Yep.
And so does the NHL All-Star game.
Yeah, it does.
And my question to you is, A, do they abolish it? B, what do they do with it? Or C, like, do you kind of like put it upon them, these guys, to like take some initiative and say, hey guys, man up a little bit and do something for the fans?
I think we can all agree that the baseball All-Star game is the best because the game can be played. Look, here's the problem with the All-Star games. The athletes don't want to injure the other guy during this game, okay? So they're all letting up, and that's the unwritten rule. Everyone knows about it. The problem is that football, hockey, these are physical sports,
right?
At a very high physical rate. So in baseball, you're still able to play the game at a high level.
That's a good point.
So baseball is always going to work. And what I like what baseball did is that whoever wins gets the home field advantage, right? So there's something on the line. The fact is do you scrap it? In my opinion, no, you don't. But I think everyone needs to just stop their expectations of these games getting any better. They're not.
Right.
The Pro Bowl will always suck. Okay? Is there a way to fix it? No, there's not.
No.
There is no way to fix the Pro Bowl. You can't force these guys to tackle each other silly. In the NHL, the same thing. There's no way you're going to convince any of these all-stars that are making $5-6 million up to play a really hard physical game. The all-stars, the all-star game in hockey was the Olympics.
Right. That absolutely very true.
That's it.
So, I would say you're absolutely right about baseball. It is the best one. And when baseball put an emphasis on it and said, hey, winner gets home field advantage, depending if you're National League or American League, I'll give it to baseball. Absolutely. NBA comes a close second. I mean, it's not super exciting. It's just kind of fun to watch these guys like flying through the air.
It is the second best, though, right?
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
When it comes to the NHL, they've done a much better job in the last couple of years with regards to making it a little bit more exciting. The 3-on-3, I think, is excellent. Opens up the ice.
It.
Absolutely.
Completely saved it.
However, what I don't like is you can still tell that they're not in it. And the Pro Bowl, you're absolutely right. I don't know what to do with the Pro Bowl because they've tried to change it from AFC to NFC to Jerry's team versus Dion's team and this and that. They've tried a lot of different little experiments and nothing's worked. I would say that where I'm a little disappointed is this. These guys have to remember where they come from. These guys get paid millions and millions of dollars to play a game. We've talked about it.
Yep.
They got to show that the fans that they appreciate where they've landed in life, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've worked hard. I respect that. I get it. You're making a lot of money, and the players the people that are paying the tickets are your employers to some degree as well. So give them something, and if that means taking away the Pro Bowl or taking away the All-Star game, but maybe giving the fans at the end of the night an opportunity to meet you after every home game or something where the people can get that experience, then I say do it like that. If you're not going to put any emphasis in a game, then at least meet the people that are paying your bills.
You're almost better off just naming these people to a Pro Bowl team and having them just not play.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to me. We see the thing about All-Star games was it was an opportunity where you could see people play together that would never normally play together, and you're getting this best of the best kind of game.
Right.
The best of the best plays and things that we see happen during the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not getting anything better. Like, we're not, to see Crosby and Ovechkin play with each other, yeah, it's great, it's cool, but the best versions of themselves would be playing on the same team in the playoffs.
That's true.
It's meaningless. At least the NHL tries. Look, there's no way to save it.
No.
They're going to be garbage. The skills competitions are definitely where it's at. The NBA has done a great job of really marketing it as the best one.
Yeah.
And even the skills too, actually, think of it. Ovechkin, who won the slap shot competition.
Yeah.
Now the fans are voting people in the NHL. how can I sit here and be satisfied watching Ovechkin win that skills competition, knowing that Zdeno Chara and Shea Weber are harder shots than him?
Yeah, that's true.
I just don't want to see it.
Yeah, it's true. I know they're doing everything, and I at least respect that. But you know what kind of makes me mad, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, and we'll get off this right after.
Yeah.
Is that these guys are getting paid on top of it. So the NHL, the winner of this last week's All-Star game, the team won a cumulative $1 million, right? And they divided up by the team members. So each guy got $91,000 to play in the game. Then if you win if you win at the competition level, you get an extra amount of money, and then based on your salary or on your contract, you also get some sort of reimbursement to get into the All-Star game. So really, the All-Star game has now turned into a bonus to these players, and when it's exposed like the way I just exposed it to you guys and told you about it, it takes away. It's like they're not doing it for fun. They're literally doing it for the money, and that's where I'm kind of losing out. And you're right, knowing that Chara and Weber have a harder shot than Ovechkin, what bring the best of the best. And one last thing I want to say, that's where I think the NBA can do something. You see it on the internet all the time. These kids flying around and dunking the ball, not NBA guys. They're either in the NCAA or they're playing in some division league or whatever. Why don't they ask? Why doesn't the NBA man up and say, you know what? Hey, you're amazing. We got this video. Do you want to go in the dunk competition against an NBAer? That'd be kind of cool. I think it'd be kind of fun and great way to market. But the All-Star Game's dead. But you know what's not dead? The XFL. Vince McMahon has done it again, ladies and gentlemen. And the guy that can't die, the chairman of the board, Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, has done it once again.
You're fired.
And he's bringing back what 20 years ago, he started the XFL, and it died after 1 year.
Right.
And we are now in the realm of seeing it being resurrected from the ashes. And I have a feeling that there's a little bit of meat to this bone. I think the XFL, the second time around, might have something to be said.
I agree with you. I definitely agree. So if I read right, it's 2020. They want to start the season. Okay. Now the XFL failed because Vince the first time around, it failed because at the time the WWE was going through what they called the Attitude Era.
Okay.
So they were losing these Monday Night Wars against their rival WCW, so they got really risque. So that you could watch a pay-per-view and they were showing breasts, and it was just like all that stuff. Right?
Best time of
It really was.
It really was.
It really was the best time because it was pushing the envelope. So when Vince McMahon came with the XFL, it's almost like he tried to do that type of branding in football, and it didn't work.
No.
I mean, the first play of the game, when they had instead of the coin toss with the football, the guy separated his shoulder. Yeah. Like day one, you're like, oh man, this isn't good.
So silly.
Now he's back again. And I agree with you, Mitch, when you say there's meat on this bone, and I think it's going to work. There's no way that a guy like him says, I want to do this again, and let's see if it works, and I'm going to put $100 million of my own money in there. This has been very thought out. Mm-hmm. He's obviously sat and learned from his mistakes. And look, he's a billionaire and a successful man, and a lot of successful people, what they do is not stop on the first try.
That's right.
And I think what's going to happen now, like I saw the press conference, and what I got most out of it was the fact that it seems like they're willing to listen to kind of the market. I think it's going to be a feeder league for the NFL. Mm-hmm. I think, but I think it's going to be very competitive, while at the same time the rules are going to be a little bit changed to kind of please the fans. You said it, so I'll let you talk into this, but you said that the CFL is going to suffer as a result, and I absolutely agree with you, because now this is giving Americans a channel to stay in America in bigger markets.
Absolutely.
And potentially get a look into the NFL, at the same time getting CFL players saying, you know what, maybe I'll go down there.
I think right before I get to that, going back to your point, I do think that Vince McMahon, having the money and let's say the contacts that he has, this will work the second time around. All he has to do, in my opinion, is don't play with it too much. Like you said, instead of a coin toss, he had two guys running for the ball. Dumb. The NCAA football is just as popular, if not more popular than the NFL to some degree.
Sure.
And they don't really do anything different, right? It's just university ball, and they do,
one leg in the for catches. You don't have to have both feet.
Right,
just
right.
One,
It's
just
like those are the
small-
smaller rules that I think the XFL will implement.
I
I
agree,
do think
Mitch.
what they're going to do is they're going to take all the same rules from the NCAA and just implement them in their own league.
Yeah.
And I think that will successfully make them an excellent product to watch. I know it sounds weird to say it, but the reality is no one's touching the NFL. Let's
Nobody.
make that very clear.
Nobody.
No one can touch it. They're too big. They're too strong. But they are going to destroy the CFL from the point of view of this. You said it. I said it when we discussed it earlier. The problem here is that we do have a different game up here. And when the Americans come up here to play, that's why they have a hard time kind of adjusting with that extra person.
It's a good game.
It's a great...
It's just we don't have the talent.
We don't. We have a bigger
Right?
field. We have a bigger ball, all that stuff. But the reality is that the talent base that's coming up here is good. There's a lot of great players from the United States coming up. But if they did have a different option, which now they will in 2020, they're not coming up here. And if Vince McMahon pays them, let's even say the same amount, they're for sure not going. So what the CFL has to do, and they have to do it very quickly, is they have to adjust. And I think one of the things they have to do, I have a good buddy of mine, he's an ex-CFLer, and we've been talking about it even prior to this, actually. And he said the best way for the CFL to succeed is to try to make it a little bit more localized. Like, use the local kids in the area. Use the talent might drop a little bit, but use more Canadians. So right now there's that that export rule where you have to have a certain amount of Canadians on a team. Well, he's saying if it's 20% Canadians on a football team, make it 50. Make it 50-50, where even some Americans will come up here. Don't it's not like they're not ever going to come up here. But make it where, the local kid down the street that played some great university ball now has a chance to play.
Do you think Johnny Manziel, knowing if there's an XFL option, knowing that option exists, do you think he'll ever come to the CFL?
I think if he has an opportunity to play next year, he will, just to get into game shape. Will he stay here now?
But let's just let's say the XFL is running right now.
Oh, no way.
Do you think Manziel's coming to the CFL? No way.
Not even a little
You know who else is going to suffer? I just thought of it now. I didn't think of it before.
Sure.
Arena football.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to get...
They'll get killed.
Because that game's even more weird.
Well, that's why I think this is going to work, because arena football is a sustainable league. You don't think, done right, this can be as well?
Oh, absolutely. Look, the arena football has a following.
Yeah,
it's just like lacrosse, or it's a different sport. It's something that some people are into. There's going to be those that love their lacrosse. Some people here in Canada love WHL and minor hockey more than they like NHL, and that's fine. But the XFL, I think what they're going to do is they're literally going to follow the NCAA rules. They're just going to take those rules and implement them in their game.
Yeah.
From XFL, we go, as we said earlier, we're in
the Big Daddy.
The real creme de la creme, if you will. So we're in bye week this week.
And that means creme of the creme.
The creme of the creme.
Yes, exactly. Just for everyone who didn't catch that. Right?
Exactly. So what we got this weekend we have the Super Bowl. It's in Minnesota. It's New England Patriots, as we all know, versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Vegas has started the line at 5 points in New England's favored, -5. The line, as of this morning, I checked it, it's dropped to 4.5. So the as we call them, the Joes in the game are coming in. The public is coming in and saying, hey, Philadelphia, we got your back, baby.
Yeah.
We're going to back you up. And the over-under in that game is 48.5. Dimitri, because today's episode, we're going to be talking about the GOATs of all time.
That's not a sound effect, by the way.
That was literally Dimitri doing a perfect GOAT impersonation. Let's talk. Who do you like this weekend and why?
Okay, so I like the New England Patriots, and the reason is I just don't have... Not saying... Look, I think it's going to be a good game, but I just don't have any reason to think otherwise.
Yeah.
There's not enough there for me. I feel that the Patriots are playing the exact same team that they played last year.
Okay.
High offense. The Falcons last year were able to run the ball. They had weapons at wide receiver to be able to throw the ball. I think they had a better quarterback than Nick Foles. And the defense for the Falcons was pretty good, right? So less quarterback, higher defense, experience is going to be a factor. Nick Foles, I think, had the best game he's ever had. I don't see him repeating that game. And the Patriots are really good at doing their homework, and I really believe that we're not going to see a boring game, but I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see the Patriots win another one. If the Falcons, if the Eagles win, am I surprised? No, this is a good team. It's just they haven't proven to me beyond a reasonable doubt as to why I should cheer them on to win.
I agree, unfortunately, to some degree, with everything you're saying. However, I don't know why. I got this weird feeling inside of me that Philly, they're just due,
Jeff.
man. It could be, actually. I have this, as much as I love my Brady, as much as I couldn't agree, New England's like that really smart kid, and you're giving them an extra week to study for that test. Exactly. I agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. There's just this something inside of me that says Philly has gone to, they were disrespected in their first playoff game.
Right.
And they were the first seed. Second game, same thing. They weren't getting the respect. And obviously no one's giving them the public is definitely cheering for them for the line to drop a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Philly. It's going to be a close game. And none of the Super Bowls that New England has won has been a blowout. So it's kind of, if history plays itself out, it's going to be a close game. And I'm going to go with Philly because I just have this feeling that a lot of people want to, I just think that vibe is going to change a little bit. And I want to believe Philly will win. But I got to be honest. I'm saying Philly, but I know New England's going to just
but Mitch, a lot of people are doing it for the same reason I am. It's just the Patriots are there. Automatically, we have to assume the Patriots are going to win because of the pedigree of this team. I'm not doubting it, right? Yeah. It's just, you know what? I'm not even overly confident with the Patriots.
Right.
That's how close I think the game will be.
I'm going to change my bet. I'm going New England. You know why? Because I can't sit on the sideline. I have to go with what makes sense to me because I can't say I think Philly and then I'm telling you why.
That's fine.
I got to go with New England. New England really until you beat the champ, right?
Woo!
Exactly.
You got to beat the champ.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to go New England but I'm kind of secretly not really, because I'm telling everyone, wanting Philly to pull it off.
Well, now it's going to be good, Mitch.
It's going to be great. Good. Now, if Brady, and based on what we're saying, wins, that's his 6th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan has 6 championships.
Right.
This week on the discussion board, huge discussions going on. In fact,
a lot of discussions.
I happened to run into a lot of our listeners.
Who posted the initial?
I believe it was Paul. I think it was Paul DeMacus.
It was Paul DeMacus.
I think I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Okay.
Good old Paulie D. Always trying to stir up some controversy.
Absolutely.
And
actually, Paul and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Once they get going,
I love
it.
Oh yeah, we just let them go.
It.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's watching 2 pit bulls go at it.
Oh, it's so great. I love
it. But they came up with this because it's been around. It's on the media sites, and for whatever reason, the 2 guys that came up were Brady versus Jordan.
Right.
Now, me and you talked during the week when you returned from Vegas, and I gave you a day to get yourself back in order. But I
my
said,
stock.
Yeah, exactly. I said to myself, okay, these are the 2 that are coming up. However, why is it these 2 that we have to talk about?
Yeah.
So what we decided to do is that we're going to talk about really quickly about all the major league sports really quickly and who the GOAT is in each one.
Absolutely.
But then you came up with a great idea today. Tell the people what we're going to do.
So what we're going to do, I know it's a bit early because we're just coming right at the end of January, but in March, we're going to do a March Madness bracket.
Right.
Of all the greatest players of all time.
I'm calling it the 64 GOAT greatness.
64 GOAT greatness.
So it's going to be exactly like the NCAA.
Yeah.
We need your help though. We have to pick 64 of the greatest of all time in any sport, by the way.
We're going to start a thread in the
male
discussion
or female.
board. Yeah, male or female. Yeah. Absolutely. We are going to start a thread in the discussion group just so we don't miss anyone.
Exactly.
Because, Mitch and I, we might miss someone.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we're open for the debate. It's going to start in March, and we're going to get people. We're going to do the bracket week to week, and we'll find out, because if there's anything that we do trust, is the RLRT fans.
Absolutely.
Okay, they are smart.
The roster's smart.
Smarter than both of us combined. Not smarter than Jeff. No. Because if you see the work he does here,
it's actually quite impressive. Actually.
Yeah, Jeff is smart.
But for this week's discussion, we are going to talk about these 2. Yes. However, we're all going to bring up the one.
What's funny, Mitch, is that when this got brought up, when we had talked, you said to me, you're like, you know what? Why is it just these two? I can think of another guy, and I go, yeah, I think of another guy on the list. Like,
Exactly.
why is it just these two? Is it because they're comparable in terms of the championship
I think
stats?
that's what everyone's trying to do.
But I personally, I don't know if I think this is the right comparison.
I agree.
Right? So
let's start. Let's go through all the teams real quick,
Okay.
or all the leagues.
all the leagues, you give yours, I give
I'll
mine,
give mine, and then
little
we'll-
debate,
little debate, a little
this,
argument,
little that.
little swearing across, a little deconstructive.
Hey, oh,
wait,
what are you doing over here?
So, all right, we'll start with the NHL. Greatest of all time, go.
Greatest of all time, as much as I'm a big Penguins fan and I love Lemieux, it's hard to take it away from the great one, Wayne Gretzky.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. The great
Beautiful.
one, easily the GOAT of
All right,
time.
Mitch, let's go to the next sport. How about the NBA?
You know what? Again, it's pretty easy. I'm going to go with Michael Jordan. There is no comparison. The man is the man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree as well. I don't think, sometimes people like to sway the argument in terms of maybe the championship or the point talk or whatever the case is. I actually, I'm a big LeBron guy, but he has to finish his career
Absolutely.
to prove it. Michael Jordan, I don't think we can deny he's the most special players. we've seen.
Major League Baseball. Who do you think is the greatest Major League Baseball player of all time? This one's a tough one.
It's a tough one because I'm not big on the MLB.
Sure.
And baseball's weird. Like, is there one great position? Because it is a tit-for-tat game. This is what I know. I know there's pitching and hitting. And that seems to be all that kind of matters.
Right.
You never hear oh my God, that guy's the best left outfielder.
Right.
Maybe the baseball guys do, but I don't.
Right. Well, they would talk about that. You're right.
Yeah.
Like if you go to Canton, Ohio, and if you're a baseball enthusiast, somebody will say something like,
Yeah.
"Oh, this is the greatest left fielder. This is the greatest right fielder." and so
Yeah,
on.
and for me, it's like, you're boring me. Where's the hot dog stand? Yeah, are the AVNs here? Yeah, exactly. Jeff.
Okay, go ahead. Pick one.
We're on the same page with this one. I just looked at most strikeouts and most home runs.
Sure.
Nolan Ryan for me on the pitching side. It's my boy.
That's your boy. I love Nolan Ryan, but I'm gonna go a little controversy on this one. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go with, and he still needs a little love from his boys. Little Barry Bonds. You know
Yeah,
what?
I agree 100%,
Roids or
man.
no roids, man. The guy destroyed when he was on his game. There
Yeah.
was, and even before he wrote it up, allegedly, he was tearing it up. He's a
Absolutely.
multiple Gold Glove winner. He can hit the ball. He can do everything. So my pick is Barry Bonds.
762, I believe, home runs.
Absolutely.
If I remember, this guy's got the most. You know what pisses me off about the whole baseball thing? If there was a dark cloud over baseball.
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you guys just scrap the entire achievements that happened in those years? Not just pick on this guy.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's the same reason Germany doesn't do it, because during like 43 to whatever, you know what I mean? They had apparently it's been
Little thing
strict. Yeah,
happened.
that little thing happened with the world and
Little
stuff.
thing there, little difference of
You
opinion.
just gotta kind of
You know?
They had a little bit of an argument over some stuff.
Sometimes you gotta go with the flow. Be very careful with the jokes here.
Yeah, exactly. All right, NFL.
Tom Brady.
Yeah, we gotta go
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
I will say, you know who came to my mind as I was driving here? As awesome as Tom Brady
Trent
is,
Dilfer.
honestly, he's third. Jerry Rice. If you see his stats, man, and what he's done,
Guy's a freak.
The guy's a freak, man.
Yeah,
The
but you
guy's
know
a
what?
freak.
I would take Randy Moss over Rice
Oh my God!
any
I
day
can't
of the
believe
week.
you just said that.
Any day of the week.
Why?
What do you
and
mean why?
how?
Guy's a freak, man. The guy's amazing. He only had one good quarterback.
I can't wait for the people to hear this and then actually destroy you on the discussion board.
I would take Randy Moss.
You'll take Randy Moss over Jerry Rice.
Yeah, for talent for talent. Yes, I would.
I
Don't
am
shake
like,
your head.
and just for the fact, I had no idea he was going to say that. My apologies to everyone. Wow, that is.
See, it just goes to my point that people are afraid to give.
Well, you can say it. I'll
Well, there's so
appreciate what
many
you're
people
saying.
out there that it's Rice, and it's going to be Rice till the end of time. You know what? Stop being so afraid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the fact that
We've
you're
seen
against-
better people. Okay. It's
Well,
okay.
But you know what's funny? We both agreed on Brady, and then we got into a fight about something else. Like, that's the funny part. Soccer. What do you got for soccer?
For soccer, I think we're witnessing the two of the best players of all time. But Lionel Messi for me, the guy is I think the greatest soccer player we've ever seen, talent wise, and he's playing in the best pound for pound generation of soccer. And what I mean by that is Pele was great. Mm-hmm. but there was a lot of garbage that went along with that.
I agree with that.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
I got
He was
Lionel
ahead
Messi.
of his time. Yeah, absolutely. I'm also gonna go with Messi, just slightly ahead of Ronaldo, but I'm going with Messi. UFC MMA.
Yeah, in the MMA, I think for me, I got to give it to the hometown boy here, George St. Pierre. I just, it was Anderson Silva for a while, from a talent perspective, but he fell a little bit short there. But, St. Pierre broke a lot of records, the win streak, the fights that he's made, but also the way in which he fights. I think he's smarter. He's a little more calculated, and as a fighting mind, it puts him up top.
I'm gonna agree with you. I thought about that one because I'm not the biggest guy on it, but and I think what won it with me is his last fight where he went up in the weight class after that long longevity.
And that's a big deal.
And he didn't just do what everyone thought he did. He actually choked the guy out and all that stuff, which he normally doesn't do. He just annoys you and dry humps.
He had to adjust, right? He tried to take him down and couldn't.
Here's your favorite topic: boxing.
I'll let you go first.
Sure,
I'll let
boxing.
you go.
Greatest of all time. I know a lot of people would automatically jump on Muhammad Ali. I'm not gonna go with Muhammad Ali. Me and Dimitri talked about this briefly. He to me was the greatest showman / boxer. He was the Conor McGregor. He was the Rock. Great interview, amazing, and he backed it up.
Yes, he did.
But the best of all time boxing, you know what? Because I don't know everything about it, I'm just going to go with the guy with the best record. I'm going to go with Mayweather, man. I'm going to say Mayweather.
It's funny that you say that because we're going to get in a lot of flack. I wanted you to go first because I have my arguments with it, but I think Floyd Mayweather Jr. Is the greatest boxer of all time. And right now, people listening to our podcast, Mitch, are going to go absolutely crazy.
Are they?
And I want to can I defend the point a little bit?
Sure, because I have no reason to.
If the rule of boxing or the point of boxing is to hit and not get hit, who's done it better?
That I do know it is Floyd.
It's Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm going to take Floyd Mayweather's name out of the equation, and I'm just going to describe two guys. I'm going to describe one guy that's going to say world champion in 5 weight classes. By CompuBox numbers, has the highest percentage landed, lowest percentage taken. Undefeated in 25 championship fights. Undefeated in his absolute career. In the 5 all-time pay-per-views, he has the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 spot. And made the most money out of any other athlete in professional sports. Now I'm going to compare him to a guy that has 61 professional fights with 5 losses and lost to a guy who had an professional record of less than 10 wins in his prime of his career, took a lot of punishment, and actually in the big game fights, lost the first time around. Who's who?
Yeah, no, all the good points.
But people, Floyd Mayweather made his money by being the bad guy, and that's how we want it. We don't want to give him the accolades.
Agreed.
We don't want to give him the accolades because he was a brash and sassy, in your face, just, I want to pay to watch this guy lose. But what he did for the sport in the ring and out of the ring, nobody has done it.
Agreed. And I think that's what, when you talk about this, in any sport, that's what you got to remember. It's not just about the championships. It's not about the position. It's what have they done overall for the sport, and I couldn't agree more.
Well, in Floyd Mayweather, everyone complains that he's a boring fighter. But actually, Floyd Mayweather's a defensive counterpuncher. And to be a defensive counterpuncher, you have to fight in close on the pocket.
Right.
Muhammad Ali danced around the ring.
Yeah.
But no one said, "Oh, Muhammad, you're a dancer."
Yeah.
Right? And I want to bring up one point that no one will ever say. Floyd Mayweather showed the blueprint that you can be successful in a combat sport where you're getting hits to the head by taking less punishment and maximizing revenues. And if I'm teaching my kid who to be like in the boxing world, 10 out of 10 times I'll say, box like Floyd Mayweather as opposed to Muhammad Ali.
Agreed. Olympics, who do you have as the GOAT of all time?
Okay, so remember the episode we had the killers?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and I picked Michael Phelps.
Yep.
I still believe that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a tie.
Oh.
I think it's actually a tie because I forgot about Usain Bolt.
Oh, yeah.
And you have the fastest swimmer versus the fastest runner ever of all time. These two people never lost every time they competed for that medal. They have that's incredible.
I'm gonna go. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna stick with Phelps on this one, and I'll tell you why. Because he didn't just do one thing, right? Like Hussein ran the 100 and 200,
right.
but Phelps did a whole bunch of other types of swims. He did the breaststroke, backstroke.
Right.
He did a whole bunch of them. So I'm gonna stick with the guy with the more medals, not because that's the winner, but just because he did a lot more in the water, right?
See, and that's the thing. There's such an argument for both, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But again, is it because the fastest man in the world accolade just has more clout than,
right?
You know,
it does, absolutely. And swimming, I got to be honest. You know how I feel about swimming. I think it's the most dangerous thing in the world. Tennis. Who do you got for tennis?
You know, this is a tough one because, again, it's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky. In a way, it's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky thing. How do you deny Roger Federer with I believe it's 19 Grand Slams that he has now? At 36 years old, he just won his last one at the Australian Open.
Yeah.
So this guy has, he's the guy to beat. So at the end of the day, I got to say him.
I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Because this sport is that one where the women's division as well. I'm gonna say, of course, Federer for the male,
right.
And I think you'll probably agree with me, Serena, and I think she's gonna be a huge proponent in the 64 person challenge for the GOAT of all time.
Yeah, I didn't
Serena,
think
don't forget what she's done for women's tennis, but how dominant. And that's what we're
That's
talking about.
true.
This is what the GOAT's all about. Who is the greatest of all time? And I think Serena could probably beat some dudes. Like I don't think she could beat Federer, but I think she can beat a lot of guys.
I'll tell you what, Mitch. I actually overlooked that, and you might be right because Serena Williams was crushing opponents.
Crushing. Like literally, she was pregnant, man, and she was still playing and beating people. Like that's pretty impressive.
Does that not count though? Is that not outside interference? Is that a 2-on-1 at that point?
I don't know how to accumulate that. I don't know, man. Is it like double the power? I don't know, but I have no idea. Formula One.
I'm not a big Formula One guy, you know, and this, as maybe having a European background, I'm probably going to get shot coming out of this. But, you know, Mitch, I don't know. I just got to go with, I mean, Schumacher for me was the guy. And it, you know, I don't know, maybe a good indication is not really being a part of a sport and
knowing.
Organically hearing who is the guy. So I haven't heard of anyone that has eclipsed him.
It's 100% Schumacher. It's sad, unfortunately, where he is in his life now. He's still in a coma. I'm not sure if you know.
Yes,
about
I
this
did know
stuff
that.
Like that. However, when I was in Germany, and this is like 20 years ago, you couldn't walk down the street without seeing his face on something. That's how dominant.
Is it Schumacher?
It's Schumacher.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. And this guy will also probably be in the top. Like his accolades are pretty amazing. Wait until you kind of Google him and check him out.
You know what's
a
crazy?
bit.
Do you know that those drivers lose 4 liters of water in a race?
I believe it, man. I mean, think about they're in that tight little spot. Those suits there's no air in those things.
You have to stay hydrated.
Yeah. It's quite amazing. My question is, why hasn't Mr. Lube gotten to that quickness? I mean, why can't I roll up my car and have my tires changed and my oil in like 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's such
not that Mr.
BS.
Lube and all those other ones are pretty fast too, but they're doing it in like 30 seconds. There's no reason they can't do it in 30 seconds.
They can do it in 30 seconds, and that is a piss off because the proof's right there. Those are Mr. Lube workers.
And you know what some people are saying? Or like people are like, it's cheaper or whatever the case may be, right? But I would pay the premium knowing I can drive up and change everything in 2 minutes. I'll pay a couple extra bucks to do that. Like what?
Mitch, who would not? Who would not pay $100 in
marketing again? Look at us. We are just Schumacher's oil. Come on in. All right, last one, golf.
Look, this is one of those cases where championships and trophies actually are not the determining factor for me, and I think that Tiger Woods is the best golfer we've ever seen.
I would agree with you. I'm gonna change. I thought Tiger as well when I saw the list. I am gonna go with Jack Nicholson or Nicholas.
See, deconstructive criticism. Jack Nicholson is an actor. You idiot. You imbecile.
I was going to do an imitation, but I can't even do it. No, I'm going to go with Jack. I'm going with Jack because you know what? The guy stayed pure to the game. He won. He crushed it, and he still has all the records. Tiger would have destroyed him if he just kept banging girls at Perkins, he would have beat him.
Yeah, but is the real winner maybe Arnold Palmer for having a drink named after himself?
You know what? Absolutely.
Is that
I'm not
maybe-
going to lie to you.
is
That,
there a wood-
that
like,
one is...
Do you go to a bar and say, I'll take a Woods? Nah, Nicholas. No.
No, you got a point.
Mexico,
Yep.
beach,
You got
not
it.
even beach, poolside.
Poolside.
Volleyball games happening over here. You know, Miguel is queuing up the
Yeah.
DJ booth. It's about 2:30 in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
2:30-ish, right?
You know, it's
Yeah.
and you're like, I'll take an Arnold Palmer.
You-
It's either that or a Modelo beer.
You know,
but
you might have convinced me. I might change my vote.
Should we go to
We'll
Mexico?
see. You know what?
Jeff-
Bottom line, they're both going to make. All three are going to make.
can the three
top
of us
64.
do a Mexico show?
That'd
Do
be
we
great.
have the equipment and the resources?
Oh yeah, I like it. I like it.
Jeff, what's on the computer? Is that DVD?
All right, now basically we named off what we think are the top.
Right.
Now it's up to you guys on the discussion board to go crazy. Tell us how wrong we were. Tell us how awesome we were. Do you want to argue? Like, do you want to
I-
take this Brady Jordan thing and compare those two, or do you want to just
No,
quickly
I-
say who you think is the GOAT of all time based on those names what we all just said?
Oh man, you know what I got to put a little more thought into it, right? And because there's so many factors. There's an argument to be said. I'm just going to go to the original posting of the Brady Jordan.
Okay.
And why, not so much between the two of them, although I do believe it's Brady, but why I think we came up with this.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is not even the most successful championship winner in his respective sport. Brady is. Federer is. Who else do we look in here? Guy like call it Barry Bonds with the home runs. Phelps. These guys are the number one championship winners. Now, to not contradict myself, sometimes I don't think that the championships are the ultimate factor. But my point with this is why is Bill Russell not in the argument then?
He is going to be in the argument.
He will
the
in
top
ours,
64, yeah.
but why is he not here?
I think you know what. Here, let's go.
And then the other,
Yeah,
and then when people start saying, "Well, LeBron James
Mm-hmm.
compared to Michael Jordan," that's blasphemy.
right.
But if you're going to say that a guy who has 6 championships is better than a guy who's got, I think, 11,
Right.
if you can make that argument, then why is it so out of whack that a guy like LeBron James, points he surpassed them at an earlier age, finals the guy's made 7 in a row, and only has 3. So why are we not allowed to bring him in the all-time?
You're
mix?
absolutely. See, this is the
that's
beauty.
why
Yeah.
I like what we're doing.
I like what we're doing too because there's a lot to this. If we're doing it straight on championships, then Dimitri's 100% right. Then Jordan does not even come because Robert Horry has more championships than Michael Jordan. So the reality is that this accumulation of the names is going to be done with a few things. You do have to have at least one championship. You got to be the best at what you do for sure. And we can find 64 names for a lot of people that are listening to this and say, "Oh, 64 is a lot." No, I guarantee you, we're gonna actually be cutting people.
Well, there's so many in each
There's
sport.
so many
right?
in each sport.
That are go.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm going to put an end to this debate really quickly. Who I'm going to be cheering for, and not that it has anything to do with the top 64. It's not Brady as much as I love him, and it's not going to be Michael Jordan as much as I love him as well. It's actually going to be Wayne Gretzky. If you actually Google it, and I actually challenge anyone to pull it up tonight on Google, check out some of Gretzky's records. They are records that will last, and I'm not saying forever, beyond ever, infinity. No one will touch these records, you guys. Jordan is not even the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. He's obviously retired, so he'll never be. Same with Brady. He's never going to have the most touchdown passes. Well, he might. He's close, if not already past it. But there's many. Categories that Brady is not number one in.
right.
When it comes to Wayne Gretzky, there is almost not a category where he's not number one in scoring and so on and so forth. It's unbelievable. And if you don't believe me, Google it. It's unreal. So right now, if you guys want me to put a little period to this ending, it's not Brady, it's not Jordan, it's Wayne Gretzky. And
Mitch,
that's
you have a great point. That's hard to argue to say, yeah, the records that Gretzky set, I mean, I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime.
We're not.
50 goals in 39 games, over 2,700 points. Like, this is obscene, right, how it is. But here's a question for our thing. Are WWE stars allowed to be in here?
Ooh.
Are we allowed to put WWE stars?
I'm gonna say let's just see who the top. Let's see all the names that start accumulating,
right?
And we'll see. Like I'm guessing you want to put Ric Flair in it for some reason, and I see why. But I guess when it comes down to wrestling,
okay. Now here's another thing.
Yeah.
We talked about it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Are porn stars allowed to be
in
there?
The answer is absolutely simply yes.
Because it takes a lot of athleticism.
Oh, I would say so.
You know, of course, you know, like they're dealing with, talk about, you know, athletes that go into overtime.
Cardiovascular,
yeah.
You know.
It's athletic. You got to have a certain look.
Yeah, bendy. You got to be bendy or flexible.
WWE star, really quick. Greatest of all time. Who is it?
Greatest of all time. Well, I'll be honest with you. I think it's Hogan. You know, and it's only because he's had the championship for so long, and he was just that physique, and he was America's guy. It just I got to go with Hogan. He wasn't the best wrestler. If you say like, well, Bret Hart's right there, I guess, but I'll say Hogan.
You'll say Hogan. It's a tough one for me because I'm more persona and what have they done. I think probably pound for pound it might be Shawn Michaels in terms of like what he did in the ring and like for WWE, but I think it might be The Rock for me. Ooh. Right? It might be because again, it's kind of to your Hulk Hogan point, what these guys did for the overall.
If you're going to do for the overall, then The Rock does.
And Stone Cold too is right there too.
I think The Rock is so far ahead, man. The guy's the number one movie star now. He's gone from the wrestling component to this movie star thing. Yeah. Like, it's crazy, right? So it depends on what we're going to do. We do have to refine what we want to do with regards to this.
What about best porn star, Mitch? Who do you think takes the cake?
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of jealous that you got Brandi Love in your arsenal. I'm a little upset. I got to be honest. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that right now.
I think we're going to give it to Nina Hartley.
We're getting to the end of the podcast. So for everyone, please get on the discussion board. Tell us how right or wrong we are, or tell us what your thoughts are. I'm pumped to hear more to it. Don't just sit on the Brady Jordan thing. Tell us about everyone. You brought up something that you wanted to quickly talk about. Canelo, GGG, number 2.
The rematch happening May 5th. This is going to settle all
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, Holmes. Sorry, I know I went a little blood out there. But yeah, it's going to be happening May 5th. This is going to be a really good fight. The first one ended in a draw. There was one controversial judge on the scorecard, but ultimately, I don't think it affected what the outcome was, and it was kind of
Do they know if it's in Vegas?
That's a good question. Most likely it will be in Vegas. Yeah,
wow,
I believe the first one was.
Cinco de Mayo, and the rematch of this in Vegas is going to be a crazy weekend.
Biggest fight in the calendar year. 2017 was excellent for boxing. 2018, a lot of good things too. Anthony Joshua, that's the English guy, is fighting Joseph Parker. That's going to be a great fight. If he wins and the other guy Wilder wins, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, let's pray that fight happens. That's the big heavyweight ticket. I want to bring something else up. We are going to be posting who the finalists were for the winner to come on the podcast, which we're looking in March. That might be really good for the March Madness tournament as well.
That's going to be fun.
Guys, I'm posting that up in the discussion board on Friday.
Yeah.
And if you want to join and you're not there, go to Facebook, type in RLRT Discussion Community.
Beautiful.
Okay, you can ask to be a member. Obviously, it's just a formality. You join right away.
Put you right in.
And I want to just say, thanks to the sponsors.
Yeah.
Thanks to, obviously, Macromind Media. And, of course, we can never not have an episode and say not a thank you to Jeff here at Alchemy Studios.
And I want to say one last thing. Awesome poker tournament this past weekend at the Hellenic Greek community. The winner was Jonas Resnick. My brother Nick came second. We raised tons of money for both pulmonary respiratory for the Peter Lockheed here in Calgary. Awesome. And more importantly, we had an awesome time. Thank you for listening. And I think it's that time.
Yeah, well, follow us on all our channels at Mitch and Dimitri, Real Locker Room Talk, reallockerroomtalk.com. And join the discussion board. But until then, Mitch and I got to hit the showers.
Can I borrow the loofah first? You always use it first. You always use it first.
You know what's weird? That you start, like, after I'm done using it, you wash your face first. Like, you shouldn't do that.
No? Oh, cool. That's why I've been breaking it.
That's amazing.
Could have said something.
Ah, you know, you got to keep a little bit of things secret. So it was a successful tournament.
It was awesome.
You guys do such a good job for that.
It was
And
really
that was,
fun.
That was for Vic's Foundation, right?
Peter Lougheed's the only one that has that respiratory unit.
Okay.
So we decided.